Periscope says we're live. I think we are. I think. Um, let's see. Nolan, are you there? All right. Well, I believe we're live. Let me try to get Nolan back in here because I think he disconnected. Anyways, Nolan looks frozen on the screen, and he's gonna come right back in right now. What's up, man? You back? Let's see. Nolan, are you there? All right, you're back.
Here. I don't know what happened there. Are we live?
Yeah, we're live. We're live.
Nice.
All right, so apologies for the technical difficulties. We'll try to make up for it and go pretty quick with and covering all the important stuff. Again, Osmo.com NHL Strategy Show. Thanks for joining and being patient. Thanks to Yahoo for sponsoring the show. Yahoo is a great place to play daily fantasy sports. Lower rake management fees, they call it over there. Much more official over on Yahoo, management fees. But you'll find lower fees over there. 250K baller for NFL, one of my favorite tournaments to throw a few entries into on Yahoo. Our boy Seth, once again, taken down, I think it was the $12 last night, so I'm sure he's firing that up once again as we lose Nolan, I think, another time. But let's see. Actually, a bunch of subscribers. Big Turk, I think, took it down. Took down a different Yahoo tournament last night, so a bunch of Osmo.com NHL people having some success playing over on Yahoo, so thanks to them for sponsoring us. Let's see. Let's just get into lineup study real quick. We got to mention the winner of the big tournament last night. I don't know if you saw it, Nolan, but our own 1-800 Eddie took it down with the losing goalie, I might add. So this is FC Pro's lineup study. Me and Matt, I guess, played the same lineup. What's up, Petty? Bunch of people in chat. We're gonna try to move this along as quick as possible. Nothing fancy out of Eddie here. Matthews, Andreas Janssen, William Nylander, they were popular. So, CBJ1 was also over 10%. Got the defenseman correct. Seth Jones, Matt Niskanen was kind of a difference maker at 6%, 19 points. And then the Stones to play Anders Nilsson. Didn't get the win, but with the new goalie scoring, you can still take down tournaments, as we saw, because volume is huge. And I think he had something like 38 saves. So pretty good case to not correlate your goalie, especially on a shorter slate. I think I kind of missed on that yesterday. I think I correlated a little bit too much for goalies with this new scoring. I think I should probably get away from that on these 3, 4, 5 game slates. For the bigger ones tonight, I don't think I'm going to worry about correlating that much. I think I'm fine with it as a general rule, but obviously there's going to be some guys that just are going to see volume and crazy things happen in NHL DFS. Anything in particular you want to talk about for last night?
No, I didn't. I was a little bit busy, so I didn't enter very many lineups. I think just
Fair.
only a few. So yeah, I wasn't paying too much attention last night. But what was Eddie's second line there? Was it Toronto 1 and what?
CBJ 1, Columbus
CBG
1.
Oh yeah, right.
Our friend
Jake Muzzin, I'm guessing, like that was.
No, he had Niskanen and Seth Jones. Our boy Brick finished second. Got to mention him. Different second stack. So Matthews, Johnson, Nylander, Shen, Schwartz, Tarasenko was his second trio. He had Muzzin. He had Niskanen. Brian Elliott was the difference. It was the difference between Brian Elliott and essentially Anders Nilsson. One goalie won 6-2. The other one faced a ton of shots and scored more DK points. So that's what happens sometimes, man.
Crazy, man. So
I think I was pretty close. Let's see. I was in the top 10 or 11, I think. 11th, yeah. I had one lineup, I think, that I needed Sagan, Pavelski to hook up for an empty netter that was doing pretty well. But other than that, I didn't think I really had a real shot at this. Ran a bunch of 3-2-1s. People were commenting about that in chat. I'm more open to that, less worried about correlation on the smaller slates to a degree. But Werenski was a guy I was pretty heavy on. 7.6% ownership. I kind of liked him, but didn't quite get there. even though I eked out a little bit of a profit. Oh, by the way, one more thing we got to mention. Where is he at? Corsi took down the $12 single entry. Corsi had a big night. This is my buddy from Toronto. Took it down, almost 2K profit in this tournament, 2K top prize. Matthews, Nylander, Matthews, Marner, and Janssen, the Toronto power play stack. Cody Ceci, Matt Niskanen, he had Elliott. So this was just a pretty fire single entry lineup. He took down a bunch of stuff and had a real nice ROI. So wanted to make sure I mentioned that. All right, man. We got 10 games to go through, and we're already about a half hour late. So you want to get through these?
A little less than 5 minutes per game here.
Yeah, I think we're gonna.
We can do this.
Yeah, I think we'll be good. We'll be good. All right.
Let's play Boston 1. Show over.
Yeah, well, that's the first game we're talking about. So we've got Toronto and Boston. 3 implied total for the Leafs, 3.4 for the Bruins. Michael Hutchinson expected to go. Leafs on a back-to-back, so you would expect the backup goalie. Anderson went yesterday. Tuukka Rask, 7,900 for Boston. What do we got for news here?
Just that Boston shuffled their lines a lot the other day against Toronto. They lost 4-3. No line below Boston 2 had more than 7% 5-on-5 ice time. It was a fairly kind of decent penalty fill affair. So I don't know. They just kept shuffling. Kuhlman looks like he's out tonight. So Boston's not really known for being a big shuffling team. So I would expect these lines to stay the same. But Parr, Lindholm, centers Bacchus and Heinen on the third line. Coyle, Ritchie, DeBrusco on line 2, and then Anders Bjork was just recalled on the third line there. I was just looking up some Torrey Krug correlation here. I just wanted to see how he was doing. Toronto side of things, I wouldn't expect any changes. They didn't skate this morning, so but I didn't see anything noticeable unless you saw something there.
No, I didn't see anything either.
Looks to be about the same for Toronto. So that's about it.
Yeah, we don't have ownership just yet, but I would imagine that comes once Alex is off the NBA show. If you guys are looking to check out the NBA packages, I don't know if you can still use that promo code, but anyways, you should be part of.
I hope you can.
Yeah, it's $100 off. So if you missed out, and that's really too bad, but I think it still works for today, maybe today only. But Alex does a premium show behind the paywall, so we're experimenting with that. A premium streams with the #1 player in DFS. So pretty cool. He should have ownership out after that. I'll give him a message after just to remind him. I'm sure he's got a lot on his plate. With the new sport starting, we're kind of in the swing of things. For this game, for me, it's really just Boston 1. I don't really have much else I want to play here. Matthews, Janssen, Nylander. I mean, I suppose you could make a case for them, assuming they're very low owned. But I'm just kind of eating whatever ownership comes along with Boston 1. Let's see, they're 22K on DraftKings, so a little bit restrictive to fit in, but I'm still finding myself making what I think are really good lineups with Boston 1. They're just incredible, arguably the best line in hockey, and you get a Leafs team that's been pretty poor defensively. Backup goalie, I mean, couldn't be a better spot, I don't think, for Boston 1. So I am they're right up there as one of the top plays of the night, if not the best.
Yeah, I think they're our most highly projected line for the night. One of the most expensive lines. Just doing a simple crunch with a 3-man stack, you get about, using Awesomos rankings, you get about 70%. So, I mean, it's a pretty smash spot. They're going to get a ton of ice time. I don't know. It's pretty hard to get off them tonight. The only other line that I think comes close for me is Calgary 1. So
that's fair. I've got Boston a little bit higher than them. They project a little bit better, but yeah, there's certainly other lines. Like if you fade Boston 1 here, it's not the end of the world. If you're playing a single entry, this would be a line that would be very much in the conversation if I was just playing one lineup tonight, and probably would end up there.
You get about 3K in savings for Boston from Calgary 1, but and I'm assuming, like, we don't have ownership yet, but I'm assuming it's going to be pretty. Boston 1's going to be pretty chalk. So
I think they'll be up there.
Differentiation elsewhere.
Yep. Any defensemen here you want to talk about, or are you ready to move it on?
Yeah, I mean, I think Muzzin's still decent, right? He's still super cheap. I don't think he got the price bump, so he's probably going to project pretty well for us. Yeah, and Torrey Krug, I think, in your Boston stacks, but it's looking like McAvoy actually gets more ice time generally with that top
Yep.
line, at least recently. So I would say both McAvoy and Krug. If you want to pivot, it's probably McAvoy.
Fair enough. Yeah, I think you could play either one with Boston one. I probably won't end up on a lot of Boston defensemen because I don't love playing them by themselves at these particular price points. So it's probably going to be a lot of Boston one and mixing and matching some cheap defensemen.
27 minutes for McAvoy the last game.
Yeah, he's going to eat up minutes basically the whole season. I mean, they want him to be kind of the number one guy. He's just not on the top
Yeah.
power play, which kind of stinks, but you will skate a lot with them at 5-on-5, like you said.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to San Jose, Buffalo. 3.2 implied total for the Sharks, 3.3 for the Sabres. Martin Jones, Carter Hutton in net. I see a couple of changes. Well, really one namely change on the Sharks side. Do we have anything else?
Yeah, no, that's all I really noticed here. Just that Noah Gregor is up on the second line, which screws up the full power play one correlation for San Jose 2 with Hurdle and Kane and LeBanc. Joe Thornton with Barkley, Goudreau, and LeBanc, and then Sorensen moves down to San Jose 4 with Gambrell and Carlson. I think that's it for both of these teams.
Yeah, as far as matching goes here, I don't know that we're going to see anything crazy. Probably we'll see Eichel and Johansson lines against Hurdle and Logan Couture. So nothing that you can get a huge edge on for line matching, I don't think. I would guess my favorite line here. I suppose if I had to choose a favorite line here, it's probably the Couture line. I think just a good price point. I hate that Timo Meyer's on the second power play. I don't like that Marlowe's up there, but I really like Couture and Meyer when they're together at 5-on-5. You can play them with either Carlson or Burns if you wanted to go that route. And then the Eichel line, like I would imagine they have quite a bit of popularity tonight because they're priced way down compared to what they were even like a week or two ago. So Eichel's a little bit expensive, but I think he's probably a guy you should consider in cash if you're paying up at one of your center spots. He's been a shooting machine, so he grades out incredibly well. The line just still hasn't been great at 5-on-5 or a little bit more active in their last game, but like I just haven't seen enough of them at 5-on-5 of being good and generating a ton of chances to where I want to play a ton of them here. So I'm probably missing out if this is another big Buffalo 1 game. They're fully correlated on the power play, so I get it. But I just like some other lines at their price point, in their price ranges, a little bit better. And I like going to the Couture line if I'm taking one Sharks line on the other side. Defenseman, anything else?
Fair. I'm not super excited. I think Buffalo's actually, like, we've been overpaying for Buffalo 1 for a long time now, and now it's like Olofsson's back to 5,300 on DK. Sam Reinhart's down to 4,700, so that line's much easier to get in than it was about a week ago. And then the San Jose side of things, I mean, yeah, Buffalo's been pretty decent defensively this year, I think, as a team anyways. I don't know what the line matching will be like, but they're kind of middle of the pack in terms of allowing scoring chances for. So I don't know. I guess it'll come down to ownership for me on this game, but I'm not super excited about it.
I think we're going to get ownership on both sides. So for me,
6.5 implied total.
Yeah. So it's pretty even on both sides. Pretty decent pricing for the totals. You've got concentrated scoring. You would think from Buffalo's top line for their 3.3 implied total. So it makes sense that these teams, especially Buffalo, would be a little bit popular here. I'm just kind of going elsewhere. It's not my favorite tonight, and I think I'm going to be paying a pretty decent ownership tax on a 10-game slate for playing Buffalo 1. Burns, Carlson, Ristolainen, Dahlin, any of these guys. I like Colin Miller actually for 3,200 as like a punt defenseman.
I think I'd rather go. Still rather take Quinn Hughes, but
fair. What's Hughes' price at?
33.
Okay. Yep, that's a good call too. I like it. Burns, Carlson. Feel free to fire him up. Greatly prefer Burns. He's the guy I'm getting to a lot more than Carlson. Burns playing more minutes. I guess he's technically on the top power play, although they switch around. But just so much upside on his own for 6,900 here. So Burns would be the guy I'm getting to the most often for defensemen in this game.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right,
Moving on.
let's go to Pitt in Florida. 3.2 implied total for the Penguins, 3.4 for the Panthers. Matt Murray expected to go against Sergei Bobrovsky. Yeah, I'm seeing new Florida lines. It's looking like. What do you see?
Yeah. So we got a couple game time decisions. It looks like Barkov's expected to go for the Panthers, and Trocheck's in a game time decision. So if you guys want low owned ad, like Trocheck's probably going to be less than 1%. I love doing that if he ends up being a go, and he's playing with Hoffman and Connolly. No problem firing that up. But basically, if you're rostering Florida tonight, you got to wait and make sure you're around your lineups before lock. And then on the Pittsburgh side of things, I did notice last game out that Hornqvist was up on the top line with Crosby and Wenzel a little bit last game. I don't think that's probably going to continue. I think it's probably going to be Simone up there, but it's entirely possible that they do switch things up. So just watch line rushes there, as well. This guy named John Marino. He's a kid out of like college or something. He's played 7 games so far this year. He is up on the top pairing with Chris Letang.
Yeah, it's a good catch on Marino. I'm just seeing that right now. I don't know, possible punt option if he's going to see around 20 minutes. I mean, you would think even without power play time. Go ahead.
Like, as an absolute bare necessity, but I just don't think that the upside is there. I don't know. I really try to avoid these $2,500 defensemen. He's still getting 17 minutes a game already this season, and he's done absolutely nothing. So I would just way rather pay up $800 for Colin Miller, like you said, or for quarterback getting power play one time.
Yes. Fair enough. That's probably the smarter play. I think you don't need to get as cute with the new scoring, with the block bonuses and the shot bonuses with these $2,500
exactly.
defensemen.
And it's so important now. I don't know. I'm still not sold like how perfectly to attack this like new scoring or anything. But man, it seems like defensemen that you want those defensemen that have the ability to get you both bonuses too, right? Like that's such a huge advantage, and like these cheap defensemen don't normally have that.
Yeah, the double dip. I can't even remember what Cliffy called it yesterday, but something like that. Double dip. But anyways, someone in chat will remind me because it was a great phrase that I'm forgetting right now. Pit 1 is a deeper GPP target for me. It's a good total, and I just love how they play at 5-on-5. So I'll play a $3,500 Simone with Crosby and Gensel. Those guys are going to be on the top power play together. Pretty much for the duration of the season. I'm even getting to a bunch of Chris Letang, getting to almost 10% of him. I think that's going to be pretty comfortably over the field. And then Florida 1, kind of the premier play, especially if Trocheck doesn't play. It kind of takes some of the steam off of Florida 2. But Florida 1, they're fully correlated. They're underpriced. If they go up against Crosby, I think that's a little bit of an issue. I wouldn't want to see that too often just because of how good that trio has been at 5-on-5. But they're good enough to get there on the power play for these prices. So this is chalk that I'm eating as well with Florida 1. I would imagine they're going to be very popular.
Chalky? Interesting. Yeah. I wasn't thinking that. But yeah, you're probably right. I mean, with the price point, $5,500, like we've seen them, this is the second time or third time, I think, this year where they've just been underpriced. So I could definitely see them getting to be pretty chalky. Barkov, 17 shots this year, 0 goals. He's due for a little regression shortly. That's partly why the price is down so much. So I think these guys are probably going to break a slate sooner rather than later.
The combo meal is what he called it. That's the phrase I was looking for. The shot blocked, shot on goal bonus. I love that. So it'll be henceforth known as the combo meal when referring to the double bonus here. But Letang is live for that, I think.
All right, we got 15 minutes here for 7 games.
We'll go a few minutes past. We
can take it.
Yeah, as long as you're good with that, I'm good with it.
Yeah, I don't care. But are these NBA guys? Do they have a second stream? Can we?
That is a good question. Let me get on that after I introduce this next game. Actually, do you have anything else you want to talk about here?
No, I wasn't super high on Pittsburgh 1 until you said them. So. I could see that, especially I don't think it's going to get much ownership tonight, especially with Crosby priced up and Gwenzel priced up. So this is a classic pay up to be contrarian spot, I think.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. So let's move it on to the next game, Arizona and the New York Rangers. We have Darcy Kemper and Alexander Georgiev going up 3 implied totals on both sides. Any changes while I see what time we got to get
No,
out here?
I don't think I didn't see any changes on the Arizona side. On the Rangers side, Jesper Fast is up on the top unit. Buchnevich is down on the third line, I believe. So you are looking. Let me just pull it up here. You're looking at Zibanejad, Panarin, Fast on the top line, Kako, Howden, Kreider on the second line, Brendan Lemieux down on the third line with Strome and Buchnevich. So looks like the power plays stay the same, except Capo Kako is up on the top unit in place of Buchnevich, and there is no Fast on the top power play unit. So kind of like the Arizona side of this one. I mean, the New York Rangers are worst in the league in terms of allowing scoring chances against this year. 5-on-5, they are, I believe, dead last in terms of high danger chances against. The only question really here is what's the ownership going to be like? How's it going to break down for Arizona? I like using Arizona 2, 3, and 4 as filler stacks. Basically, I will just I'm going to have a little bit of each one of them, but I'm just going to pair them. I'm going to be overweight on the one that I think is least owned. As far as ice time recently, it's Hino, Strozer, Richardson, Grabner line got the most 5-on-5 ice time last time. They're used in more of a shutdown role, I'd say. But 23% 5-on-5 ice time. I'm guessing they're also going to be the lowest owned of the bunch. They're also very cheap. So give me any one of these Arizona 2, 3, 4 as deep filler, low on filler stacks.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna stick with the top line, but I did get to a couple.
Good place, Nolan, but you go ahead and play your terrible
no. I especially like the second line and this third line for Arizona. They're all under 3K on DraftKings. So if they get a full line goal, this is not even a bad line. If they get a full line goal, or some sort of shorthanded, Grabner is the king of that. They don't play on the power play, but this is a Boston. This is a Boston one night, right? So you could fit them in with a couple of good defensemen. I understand the appeal. I'm getting the most Arizona one right now. My crunches aren't final right now, but I thought I would be getting more Arizona, honestly, just because of how bad the Rangers were. And even if you use data from last year, they were so bad at 5-on-5. And I'm kind of shocked that I'm not getting to some more Coyotes here. They are probably going to be popular, at least this top line, a little bit. I don't think you're going to see much ownership on the Rangers side with a 3 total, but maybe I'm wrong. Zibanejad with Panarin, great duo. Jesper Fast up there at 3,700. I mean, okay. I guess it makes the line a little bit cheaper. I actually like Trouba though, 6,300. Classic combo meal guy at 6,300, playing a bunch of minutes and having being in his own zone a lot, block shots. And the Rangers can generate chances at 5-on-5 too. So I think the shot on goal bonus is also pretty live for a guy like Trouba for 6,300. So he looks a little bit overpriced if he uses numbers from last year, but I think it's a different role for him this year. I'm willing to toss him out there in a bunch of lineups. And then on the other side, you've got Chychrun, Goligoski, Demers, I guess, playing on the top pairing for 2,800. And then Ekman Larson, probably the premier guy on the Coyotes, and probably the guy you want to pair Arizona 1 with if you're going for a 4-man.
Yeah, 100%. And this Arizona, I'd way rather play, I think, Arizona 1 than Arizona 2. Just depends on how the ownership breaks down, obviously, but the price points are almost the same for each of them. If you're deciding between Arizona 3 and Arizona 4 in a filler stack and some Boston lineups, the Arizona, the Hinostroza, Richardson, Grabner line actually has some better numbers so far this season. The Soderberg line's actually been really terrible. But I mean, it's still early, it's still small sample size, but Arizona 3, 4 super cheap. Arizona 1, 2. Arizona 2 is going to be like a pay up to be contrarian filler stack, I think. So.
All right, let's go to Vancouver and Detroit. 3 implied total for both teams here as well. Markstrom, Howard, both in net. Detroit looks like they're back to sort of their usual lines, at least the top line. That's really all I care about. Anything else here?
Darren Helm suspended or what?
No, he's listed on line 3 tonight, unfortunately.
Yeah. So Adam Ernie out for the Red Wings tonight. Alex Biega was sent back down to the AHL. Mike Green's still getting a lot of ice time and doing pretty well for this team. Athanasio up in the power play 1. I don't know if that was a thing earlier. And Philip Hronek as well as quarterbacking the power play 1 according to Daily Faceoff. So And then on the Vancouver side, I didn't see any changes from their game against the New York Rangers, or was it the Rangers on Saturday morning? Yeah. So Levo, Sutter, Furlan, everything looks pretty much the same except for Quinn Hughes. I think it was in that game that he was moved up to the power play one, or it was the Jersey game, one of those two. But he's taken over for Alex Edler on the power play one. So I think downgrade Edler, upgrade Hughes a little bit.
Yeah, another team that I thought I would get to a little bit more is Vancouver. I mean, you can't even play everyone, not even with the 150 lineups, even if you try. I'm getting to almost no Vancouver here. Maybe it's because Detroit does an okay job of at least slowing down the pace when they're at home. And I think it's going to be pretty tough for whichever line is out against Larkin, and that's probably going to be the top two lines for Vancouver for the most part. So my favorite thing here, and really the only thing I'm getting to with any sort of regularity, is Detroit 1. I don't know where they're going to fall on ownership. It should be up there. They should probably flirt with double digits, but not worried about them like being the chalkiest line on the slate or anything like that. It is an average total in today's NHL of 3 goals flat. So Detroit 1, Hughes are kind of my favorite things that I'm getting in Cruncher right now. It's not necessarily a matchup thing. I mean, you don't want to go up against Horvat, I don't think, that much. Pettersson, Miller, Besser, that line's not bad defensively. It's just a testament to how good I think Detroit 1 is, and they are fully correlated as well. So I'm hoping Florida 1 kind of takes up most of the ownership in the 17, 18K range, and I can just somewhat pivot down to a lower owned Detroit 1 if possible. I like the Mike Green call as well. He's kind of a guy.
Yeah, he's been really good.
Yeah,
maybe we're having a little bit of a resurgence here. I don't know.
Who knows? I mean, Doughty, maybe. I don't even know.
Yeah,
there's Letang looks pretty good so far as well. Although he hasn't really been bad or anything like that. But some of these older defensemen, these seasoned vets, making a comeback in 2019.
That's right. Any Athanasio one-offs for you?
He's a guy I don't mind playing as a one-off. I'm not playing a lot of lineups with one-offs tonight, I don't think. So that's the only issue.
That's fair.
All right. Let's go to the Ducks Preds. 2.6 implied total for the Ducks, 3.1 for the Preds. Gibson, Pecorine. Gibson is not confirmed, but he is 7K. He's going to be anytime he's that price, he's going to catch the eye of a lot of DFSers, and he grades out well in the projections because he's got a good shot at seeing 35 shots when he's on the road. Anything new here?
It doesn't look like anything from the Anaheim side that I noticed. Nashville, I feel like they made a change. Yeah, they switched up the third line. I think Rocco Grimaldi draws back in with Nick Bonino and Craig Smith. Nashville 2 got a ton of ice time. It looks like that's basically Nashville 2 is Nashville 1 right now. They're getting about 30 to 33% per game at 5-on-5. Unfortunately, we just have these weird power play combinations for them. But you do have a Nashville 1 and the power play 1. But I don't know about you. This is like, I'm not getting to too much of this game. What about yourself?
I'm getting to some Nashville 1. A lot of these top lines I'll just get to because I have a lot of different combinations, and I don't have like core plays per se. So nothing that I would play as like a core play or anything in this game. I think both of the top lines have some merit. I just like the trio of Getzlaf, Comtois, and Andre Kasha, more importantly. So if that line's going to stick together, I think they might be good in the long term. Here, it's just a tough spot in Nashville. I don't love playing teams against Nashville. So as far as stacks go, not getting anything crazy. I do love Yossi, though, for 6K. There's your combo meal guy. I think one of my favorite plays of the entire night at 6K. And Ellis at 5,200. He's a decent play, but it's just hard for me to play him over Yossi. So I usually just get a ton of Yossi and basically no Ellis. So I miss out on like the 3% Ellis double dong games a couple times a season. But
those didn't happen a lot last year, but we've already seen one this year, right? So I don't know. I find myself anytime I want to play Nashville, I just put Yossi in, right? Like I feel like you just get access to their entire offense with him in your lineup, and so That's one of my favorite D plays tonight. I think we're on the same page. A little group think here, but it's Giordano, Yossi, and Letang and Eric Carlson are the guys I'm getting the most exposure to.
Yep, I love all of them, so I'll be looking to play them all. Yossi being, I think, my favorite. At least he is right now, and I bet he sticks that way. All right, let's go to. Wait, anything you want to talk about on stacks? I don't really want anything.
Stacks, what?
Anything you want to talk about on stacks for Anaheim, Nashville? I kind of.
Oh yeah, no, I agree with you on that Anaheim line combo. They're a little bit cheap and they're a fine flow stack, but they have no ownership. Nashville 3, I think you could probably get to as well. Don't hate it, but I just think it's probably going to be a low scoring game if I had to sprinkle a little cheddar on it. So
yeah, I would say so too. All right, let's go to Edmonton, Minnesota. We've got a 2.9 implied total for the Oilers, 3.1 for the Wild. Mike Smith and Devin Dubnyk in net here. Two teams that have been going in opposite directions. Oilers started off red hot. Wild have been very bad. Won a game, come from behind fashion last time out. Anything new here? Wild lines, as always?
Yeah, I think it's just that Kevin Fiala's out for the Minnesota Wild. I think he's day-to-day. And then Matt Zuccarello was activated off IR. He's going to skate on the second line with Greenway and Stahl. Gerald Mayhew, Kunnin, Donato. Eriksson Ek was also placed on IR this morning as well. I think that's it. What are we looking at here? Koivu, Zucker, Parise. That's full power play one correlation, which is a rarity for Minnesota. Yeah. So kind of like this Minnesota 1 line, they're a little bit too underpriced for me. Edmonton's not exactly the most. I think Edmonton's been overachieving to this point, so I got no problem targeting them.
Yeah, both the Minnesota top two lines look really, really cheap to me. So just as optimizer plays, they're going to get some steam. Like, they're just way too cheap for having an over 3 implied total. So that's the issue here. You're going to have to pay a little bit with the ownership. But I mean, they're
it's
fully correlated.
Like 15%, right? So if you got a Bergeron, like if you're stacking them with Bergeron, like you better find some pretty low on defensemen.
So what I might do is I might just, if I was playing limited lineups, I might just like not have that combination even if I was running an optimizer.
Or one thing I've seen a couple people do that I think they had some success. Like you would sub out Mikko Koivu maybe. I don't often like subbing out the center, but I think that if you were to nowadays with a non-shoot first pass, not shooting pass first center, you sub out Mikko Koivu in place like Athanasiou or someone like that in that spot, then you've got that guy who can kind of score on his own and isn't going to be overly correlated with his line mates.
No, yeah, I don't mind the call. Let's see. If I had to choose a Minnesota line, it's tough because I think the Koivu line's better, but I think they're probably going to see the most time against McDavid, Draisaitl, and Kassian. Those they've used the Koivu line for years in a shutdown role with Bruce Boudreau. So whoever he's with is going to play a lot against McDavid, Draisaitl. So I think I'm going to bump down the Koivu line. I think they grade out as a good value, and they've got the fancy PP1 tags, but I think it's going to be more of a balanced unit. Dumba is the PP2 quarterback, right? And Brad Hunt, who they really like, at least recently. So I don't know. I'm more looking at the second line, even though it doesn't reflect that right now in what I ran. But I think I'm going to make some manual changes and get some more of Stahl, Zuccarello, and Jordan Greenway.
No more Athanasiou as a center. He's a winger now.
Is he?
Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Whatever. Point stands. Yeah. I got what you meant. Yeah. Was someone correcting you? Who cares?
No. I was just looking it up. I was like, why can't I fit him into this lineup?
Oh, okay. So, once again, Dumba, he hasn't been as active as I would like, but I still think that he will be. He's playing in the top 4. Not playing with Suter, so maybe a bump down in expected minutes. Maybe he goes from like 25 to 21, but this is a guy who can score goals, and he still plays with some pretty decent players for the most part. I don't think Minnesota should be this bad, so we'll see. Yeah. Maybe they will be this bad the whole season. I'm not exactly sure, but I think I'm not wild about Edmonton here. I don't know about you.
Not after they played that scoreless draw against Winnipeg. I can't believe that, man. So
bad.
Yeah, I don't know. They're shooting at a really high. They have a really high shooting percentage so far this year. It's an unsustainable rate, I think, as a team. So just generally, and on the power play as well, I think they're converting at like 50%. So
Yeah.
not that this is the great. I don't know. It's just like regression's coming pretty quick, and I'll be curious to see what their ownership is for sure.
Yeah, I mean McDavid will get his 10% or whatever, and I think Draisaitl will get close to that, and then everyone will leave off Zach Kassian, which I understand. But it's just not really a full stack I'm targeting anyways. A lot of their damage has come on the power play. And then you've got McDavid and Draisaitl. Like I said, they're probably going to see a lot of Koivu. And yeah, Koivu is not what he used to be. But I still think with Parise and Zucker on his line, they can be at least limit them somewhat if they do indeed give a hard match situation here. I think there's a pretty good chance of that. So that's why I'm hoping those two lines kind of wash each other out, and I get a little bit more of Stahl, Greenway, and Zuccarello compared to the top line, and correlate the Stahl line with Dumba.
I like that call. What are we good to go past 2? We're past.
Oh yeah. It is a late lock today for NBA, so
nice.
They're locking at 8 Eastern instead of 7 Eastern. I'm actually going to this wild game, by the way.
No
so
way.
I'm hoping
Awesome.
It's actually a fun game to see. Yeah, what's that?
So get to see Connor McJesus.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to
go to New Jersey Devils games.
I am going to try to go to that one. I'm not sure when that one is, but yeah, I'll definitely try to make that one for my boy Taylor Hall. But had to catch McDavid for sure.
That's awesome.
So we'll see. I'm hoping for some fireworks. Kings, Jets, Jonathan Quick, Connor Hellebuck, 3 implied total for the Kings, 3.4 for the Jets. Looks like pretty much the status quo for both teams. Do you see any news here?
No, I think it's all the same for sure.
All right. What do you like? I'm guessing we're on the same page here.
What Winnipeg won?
Winnipeg 1 and 2 for me. It kind of sucks because I've been on this Kings team a little bit, and I'm not off of them tonight, but I do like the top line, but I just think Winnipeg's going to be really bad defensively this season. You just look at their defenseman core, it just makes me laugh every time. Kulikov, Dahlstrom, Potato. I mean,
these are gross.
Yeah, it's bad.
Once they get Buffy back, it's going to be big trouble for this team.
So. Oh, for sure. So I'm looking to target as much as possible against them. I'm probably going to give a bump up to Kopitar, Iafallo, and Brown there on the power play. You'd expect Winnipeg to take a bunch of penalties this year, as they did in the previous couple of years. And then, I just think that Scheifele, Laine, and Wheeler should be able to generate at 5-on-5, and I think so should this second line for the Jets. The Kings have been playing an up-tempo, trading chances pace. So I was a little bit surprised to see the almost 3.5 total here in Alex's model. But the more I think about it, the Kings have just been more of a fun team for both sides for DFS this season. And I hope that continues here because I kind of like the top 6 for both sides.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Kings actually have been kind of decent. That top line's been pretty good. So I don't think they're going to get ownership tonight on the road in Winnipeg. So that's an interesting spot. And they just have had really bad. They're 3-5, but it's kind of undeserved. Their their save percentage as a team is the worst in the NHL right now, 87.73. So that's a big reason for why they haven't been good, and that may continue. But I'm on the same spot as you as well. The Kings. We talked a little bit about expected goals for and whether or not we should trust that stat to begin with this year, but number 1 in the NHL in expected goals for the Los Angeles Kings. So maybe a spot to get on them here at kind of low ownership as a contrarian play.
I'll be right there with you, hopefully sharing the top prize. All right. No defenseman that I'm crazy about using here. Morrissey not on the top power play. I suppose you could use him or Neil Pionk. Hinola not on the power play. Doughty, I think it's still a little bit too expensive, although he's played better so far this season. So maybe in future games, but not really looking to target a lot of defensemen on a 10-game slate here. Vegas and Chicago, 3.3 implied total for the Golden Knights, 3.2 for the Blackhawks. Marc-Andre Fleury and Robin Lehner. Fleury is not confirmed, but Oscar Dansk went last night. Got blown up against the Flyers, and now it's going to be Fleury, Leonard for the Hawks, and a new name on the Hawks second line, centering Kane and Strome. That's about all I see here.
Yeah, Slim Cliffy said in chat today, and I think he's probably right. Like the Blackhawks didn't have line rushes this morning, which is like a kind of was really weird. I'm assuming that maybe there'll be some changes before this game, or I wouldn't take these lines at face value anyways, and there might be some shifting after a home loss. So just keep an eye on them. It might be like, as you said, it might just be these lines. And then on the Vegas side of things, we saw them shuffle their lines. I wasn't sure what the reasoning was last game. I don't know if you can if you saw something, but it was Stone with
Stone was on the third line, I think, with Eakin and Brandon Peary. Glass moved up to.
Was there an injury or something, or was it
no?
Just
they were just getting racked in Philadelphia.
I looked at shift chart, and it was like I saw that Riley Smith was with Pacioretty was with Carlson and Riley Smith for a bit. Stastny was with Marchessault and Stone for a bit. So we'll probably just see the same lines again. Vegas doesn't change things up very often. The only thing they'll do is like tinker with that second and third line usually, but for the most part, that Vegas one isn't really broken up all that often. So, but just something to keep your eye on if you're playing Vegas tonight.
Yeah, I think.
Yes, you are.
I'm actually not playing as much of them either as I figured. At least not right now. Like I'm gonna get some of them, but I don't think that I'm gonna get either Vegas line over like I would say like 5 or 6%, and that might even be too much. And it's more of a, I don't know. It's a little bit with the lines. I'm not exactly sure what they're going to roll out here. Stone and Pacioretty are a little bit expensive on that second line. And then, like, I like the top line too, but I have a bunch of other lines in their range grading out a little bit better. So once we get ownership and I can factor that in a little bit, maybe it'll boost Vegas 1 for me a little bit. I'm going to force some of them in for sure. I don't mind doing that in NHL DFS, whereas in MLB, I'll kind of stick away from that. A little nervous about the Hawks, how they come out, like you mentioned, with no morning skate. I think they're going to keep this third line together, Kampf, Saad, and Kubelik. And they've been really good at 5-on-5.
Yeah.
So I like. Yeah,
Lots have been telling him for a while, and I think he's been bang on about that one, right?
Yeah. So.
For the night.
Yeah, this might be a good night to throw in a couple bullets with Chicago 3, with like a Boston 1 or another expensive line like that, if you want to save some money there.
I love it. You're not going to get any ownership, and that's the kind of line that I like to throw in with these top teams.
For sure.
Still allows them to pay up for some D. So as a unit, as a 3-man unit, they are averaging. Are you ready for this? 48 scoring chances for per 60, 20 high danger chances for per 60, and 50 total minutes. So there's your analytics fancy stats play of the day right there.
Yeah, they've just been really good. Short sample still, but like, I don't think they're going to all of a sudden be terrible at 5-on-5, especially at home where they get the benefit of last change and all that. So Strome, Kane, how do you pronounce this Kirby guy's last name? Is it Datch? Doc? Okay, yeah.
Their price is going up though. Hey, the Chicago 3 line. Wow.
A little bit.
5 Gs for Saad. Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing I can't get over, but I probably like the second line for Chicago the best, I guess, from a raw points perspective, and then Taves, DeBrincat, and Shaw. I don't even think that's a bad line. Like I would have no problem firing them up in the tournament if they're going to be low owned. Chicago hasn't been doing a ton of hard matching with the Taves line. Maybe they will with Shaw up there, but kind of like all three of these Blackhawks lines. And then for the Golden Knights, I'm most likely just going to stick with the top line, but a little bit nervous about seeing something new in line rushes.
Cool. I like it.
Defenseman Theodore John Merrill is still 2,900. No one on the Hawks outside of Gustafsson that I really want to play very much. He's kind of the guy if I'm going to really any of the Chicago lines, honestly.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm not super excited about him.
All right, let's move it on to the Caps and the Flames. This is our last game. All right, pretty good time we made here. 3.1
Yeah,
implied total. Actually, before we do this, we have another announcement. NBA opening night giveaway going on Twitter right now. By the way, our rankings are free today for NBA, so go check those out. This is a similar giveaway to the NFL ones we've been running out. So you reply to the tweet with the combined points scored between Kawhi Leonard and LeBron James on tonight's slate. So if you do that and you guess it correctly or close to, or the closest to being correct, you can win a 2019-2020 NBA Osmo Plus season pass. Again, $249 value. All you got to do is retweet, like, and reply to this tweet that I just posted in the YouTube chat. So do that, and you can win a pretty cool premium membership for the season.
Yeah, and we've got tons of new premium content as well. So you said Alex is doing his own video, premium video for NBA now. As well, we have a premium expert survey with all of our touts giving out their top picks of the day. And then Alex is doing a new feature where it's a live blog. So maybe we can get him to do it for NHL one day, but where it's basically he's just breaking down a lot of his thoughts and thought processes as the day progresses and as injury news breaks and different things are happening in the NBA, in the world of NBA. He's going to let premium members know what he's doing and how he's adjusting his lineups as he goes.
Yes, he will. So a lot of good NBA content. We have an NBA content schedule up there as well if you want to see all of our offerings, because it's hard to list them all off at once. So thank you, whether it's Rinpack or Brett in the YouTube chat running the account. NBA DFS rankings are free today. Pretty cool deal. So check those out. Get a taste of what we got to offer on the NBA side. But don't stop playing NHL, of course, because we still got one more game to talk about. 3.1 implied total for the Caps, 3.4 for the Flames. Holtby, Cam Talbot in net here. You mentioned Calgary 1 as being possibly your favorite stack of the night.
Oh, whoa.
What do you see?
Listen. Here. Oh no, I just I think they're probably second for me for Boston, like probably right there. But yeah, 3.4 implied total at home. This line's underachieved a little bit, I think, so far. We've targeted Washington all of last season. They haven't been as bad defensively as they were last year, but of course, sample size is still pretty small. So it's tough to judge too much from that, but they're kind of middle of the pack. But yeah, I just like Calgary at home here. I think this is a spot. I think this game's going to be a barn burner. I think Calgary is going to need to all of Alberta's crying after the Liberal Prime Minister got elected in Canada, so they're going to need to play well for the province and heal those open wounds.
It's a good narrative. There you go. There's your narrative for tonight. This top line for Washington hasn't been too bad. They're probably going to get matched up against Backlund, Tkachuk, and Zarnik, a line that's been pretty good and limited sample going back to last season. So I think I'm kind of with you in that if I'm going to a line here, it's probably Calgary 1, just because I think it's tough for any line to generate at 5-on-5 against Backlund and Tkachuk. So I did get to some Calgary 1, and Washington has been better at 5-on-5, but I don't think all of a sudden they're just going to be one of the best 5-on-5 defensive teams or anything like that. They have been better so far. But you get a really good Calgary 1 line that has underachieved, like you mentioned. Maybe the ownership is a little bit lower than what it should be. 3.4 total. I mean, that's about as good as any team tonight. And you can kind of pinpoint where you think the scoring should come from here. I don't know. I kind of like the call on Calgary 1. So
yeah, I hope when we get ownership, we'll see where they're at. If like Boston 1's 25% and Calgary 1's 10, I might be more likely to throw some shares over to there. But yeah, good spot for them. Kind of agree with you everything you said there, and of course, I'm sure we're going to be getting to a ton of Mark Giordano as well for both of us. So.
Yep, Gio right up there. For me, if someone wanted to say it was their top defenseman tonight, I wouldn't argue with that. For me, it's Yossi, and then probably Burns, and then Giordano. But it's really close between the three at their respective prices. I think you're getting a really good price for the combo meal possibility for $6,100 Giordano, and then Carlson at $7,100. I mean, I don't know what to do with that outside of say I'm not playing that. I got 0 Carlson with very limited restrictions on my defenseman when I crunched. And,
zero Eric Carlson? Oh, John Carlson.
John Carlson, yeah. I don't even think I got any of the Backstrom line. yeah, I didn't get to any at the action line either. So
That's fair. That's fair.
tough matchup. That's all. Shout out to Yahoo for sponsoring the show, even when we are late. We love playing over on Yahoo Daily Fantasy Sports. They got some really awesome NFL contests that we've been playing all season. I've been dabbling some more into the NHL contests, and I'm going up against all of the people in our Slack chat. It seems like everyone keeps migrating over there. They're using the promo
So now
code
it's
Osmo.
sharp. Everyone from Osmo's over there.
Yeah, exactly. So they all use promo code Osmo to sign up. And they got their $30 of Yahoo Sports rewards points if you guys want to do that as well. Check out Emacs, what's it called? The Primetime NFL article. He does those every Monday, Thursday.
Yeah, the Dollar Baller every Friday or Saturday those drop, and he breaks down the slate for Yahoo and as well for NFL. And Alex and I do a show on Friday afternoons as well, talking about the slate, and we build some Yahoo lineups.
Yeah, so a bunch of Yahoo NFL specific content. We're migrating over to the NHL lobbies, and we're having some success. So it's good to see. Anything else before we get out of here, Nolan?
No, I think that's it. I'm gonna play a little NBA tonight and give it a shot. Maybe just become an NBA pro.
Yeah, it seems easy enough.
It doesn't work out, right?
Yeah, I'm not a losing player in NBA yet this season. So
yeah, me too. I've broken even thus far, so it's great.
All right, man. Well, thanks for sticking with us, guys. Feel free to hit us with a like on the way out. It does help us continue to do this, hopefully on time. The next few times we have the show. Tomorrow, it will be just myself. I think it's a 2-game slate tomorrow. So feel free to drop by. We'll probably do a pretty deep dive on lineup study from tonight's slate. Hopefully a bunch of you guys in chat. And Nolan and I, or Tom, or Alex, or Eddie, once again, take something big down, and we can... look and see what ended up being the winning lineup, whether it's Calgary 1 or, Chalk Boston 1 or Florida 1, Detroit 1, all the lines that I'm playing tonight. Hopefully those go off, and ownership will be out, I'm sure, very shortly. I'll I'll Slack Alex right now, and we'll get that set up for you guys. So thanks for joining, and good luck tonight.